Hola, hoy vamos a hacer el cuerpo humano y también los verbos reflexivos. Today we're going to do the human body parts and reflexive verbs. Okay, empecemos con una lista de las partes del cuerpo humano. Let's start with a list of vocabulary. El cuerpo humano, the human body. Repite, por favor. And I have the English here for you, so we'll just say them in Spanish. Repite, por favor. La cabeza. La cara. Los ojos. La nariz. La boca. Los dientes. Los labios. La lengua. La frente. Las orejas. El oído. Las cejas. Las pestañas. El cuello. La garganta. Los hombros. El pecho. Los brazos. Los codos. Las manos. Los dedos. Las uñas. El estómago. La espalda. Las piernas. Las rodillas. Los pies. Los tobillos. Los dedos de pie. El corazón. Notice that mano ends in an O, but it's la mano. That's another exception to the gender rule. La mano, las manos. Okay. Ahora tengo un modelo. I have a model. Vamos a escribir las partes del cuerpo humano. Let's write them. First of all, this whole thing here is la cabeza. Right? Your head. Or the face would be la cara. La cabeza, la cara. Hair would be el pelo. Hair. Forehead is frente. O el ojo. Or normally you talk about los ojos, your eyes together. La nariz. La nariz. Los dientes, the teeth, los dientes. La oreja. La oreja. It's an O-R-E-J-A, oreja. And the inner ear is called el oído. So if your ear hurts, you say, me duele el oído. If you have a headache, you say, me duele la cabeza. Okay? And then your mouth would be la boca. La boca. So we have la cabeza, la cara, el frente, el pelo, la oreja, el oído, el ojo, la nariz, la boca, los dientes. Ahora, el cuello, the neck, el cuello. But now your throat is different. It's la garganta. La garganta. Arm, el brazo. Or in my arms, en mis brazos. Elbow, el codo. El brazo, el codo. There's an expression in Spanish. Tengo que poner los codos en la mesa. I have to put my elbows on the table. That means I have to get down to work or get down to studying. Tengo que poner los codos en la mesa. Okay? The hand is la mano. Remember, it's la. La mano. And fingers are los dedos. Los dedos. La mano, los dedos. Okay, stomach would be el estómago. El estómago with an accent. Here we have the heart, el corazón. also with an accent, corazón. And another one which we didn't do yet, which is lungs, los pulmones. Los pulmones. And then this is pointing to your back, which your back is la espalda. La espalda. You see those? Los pulmones, el corazón, la espalda. Your legs are las piernas. Las piernas. Knees, las rodillas. Las rodillas. Ankles, los tobillos. Los tobillos. That's an I. Your feet, los pies. Los pies. And your toes are los dedos de pie. Fingers on your feet. Los dedos de pie. ¿Ok? Bien. Ahora voy a describir un extraterrestre y tú vas a dibujarlo. Now I'm going to describe an alien, and you're going to draw the alien. Okay. Todo en español, all in Spanish. Tiene una cabeza redonda y grande. Tiene una cabeza grande y redonda. Tiene 3 pelos rizados. 3 pelos. Encima de la cabeza, 3 pelos. Tiene una ceja grande. Tiene una ceja grande. Tiene 3 ojos. 3 ojos. En cada ojo hay 3 pestañas. En cada ojo hay 3 pestañas. Tiene 2 narices. Tiene 2 narices. Tiene una boca grande. Tiene una boca grande con 4 dientes. Con 4 dientes. Tiene también una oreja. Tiene una sola oreja. La oreja está en el lado derecho. Tiene una oreja. Tiene un cuerpo con 4 brazos. Tiene 4 brazos. 2 a la izquierda, 2 a la derecha. 4 brazos. En cada brazo hay una mano con 4 dedos. 4, 4, 4, 4. 4 brazos, 4 manos, 4 dedos en cada mano. Tiene 2 piernas. Lógicamente, tiene 2 piernas. En las piernas tiene los pies. En los pies tiene 3 dedos de pie. Repito todo. Tiene una cabeza grande y redonda. Tiene 3 pelos rizados encima de la cabeza. Tiene una ceja grande. Tiene 3 ojos. Tiene 2 narices. Tiene una boca grande con 4 dientes. Tiene una sola oreja. Tiene un cuerpo con 4 manos, 4 brazos. Tiene 4 brazos. En cada brazo hay una mano. En cada mano hay 4 dedos. Tiene 2 piernas. En las piernas tiene los pies. Y también tiene 3 dedos de pie en cada pierna, en cada pie. Okay, do you have your alien drawn? Does it look like this? Okay. Tiene una cabeza redonda. Tiene 3 pelos. He has 3 hairs. Tiene una ceja. He has 1 eyebrow. 3 ojos, 3 eyes. 3 pestañas, 3 little eyelashes on each eye. 2 narices, 2 noses. Una boca con 4 dientes. A big mouth with 4 teeth. Una sola oreja, just 1 ear on the right side. 4 brazos, 4 arms. 4 manos y 4 dedos en cada mano. Each hand has 4 fingers. 2 piernas, 2 legs. Y 3 dedos de pie en los pies. 3 toes on each foot. Muy bien. A continuación vamos a empezar con los verbos reflexivos. Hasta ahora. Ahora vamos a estudiar los verbos reflexivos un poquito, ¿no? Ahora, normally reflexive verbs, or many times reflexive verbs, are verbs where the person who's doing the action is also receiving the action, something you do to yourself, or something I do to myself, or he does to himself. So, for example, me lavo las manos. I wash my hands. Me lavo las manos. Okay? Te cepillas los dientes. You brush your teeth. Now, if instead of washing my hands, I'm washing the car, then in that case, the verb would not be reflexive. It would just be lavo el carro. Now, not all reflexive verbs are something that you really do to yourself. Some verbs are just reflexive just because they are. An example would be quejarse, which means to complain. You don't really complain to yourself, you just complain. For example, te quejas muchísimo. You complain so much, you complain a lot. Te quejas muchísimo. Another example would be to die is actually reflexive. Morirse. Me muero de hambre. I'm dying of hunger. Me muero de hambre. Okay? But today we're going to focus on reflexive verbs that are things that you normally do to yourself, and they're usually part of your daily routine. Let's look at an example. Los verbos reflexivos, cuando la persona que hace la acción es la misma que recibe la acción, se hace uso de un verbo reflexivo. So when the person who's doing the action is the same person that's receiving the action, we're definitely going to use a reflexive verb. As I mentioned before, though, there are other verbs that are reflexive just because they are. Okay, un ejemplo, levantarse, which means to get up. Levantarse. Repite, me levanto. Te levantas. Se levanta. Nos levantamos. Os levantáis. Se levantan. What you're doing is whenever you see a verb that has se at the end of it, levantarse at the end of the infinitive, you know, okay, I'm dealing with a reflexive verb. And then what you do is you take the se off the end, bring it to the front, and it becomes me, te, se, nos, os, se. Once you take off the se, you're left with levantar, which is a regular AR verb. Just happens to be a regular AR verb. So I'm going to then conjugate the AR verb as I would any AR verb. Levanto, levantas, levanta. Levantamos, levantáis, levantan. That means I get up, you get up, he or she or usted gets up, we get up, all of you get up, they get up. Okay? Algunos verbos reflexivos. Here are some common reflexive verbs that have to do with your daily routine. All of them do. Let's go over them. I'm going to conjugate them for the yo form. I'm going to conjugate them saying yo, me, and the verb. So you get used to how they sound. Okay, repite. Me despierto. Me despierto. That means I wake up. This one was to get up. This first one, me despierto, is to actually wake up. Me levanto. Me levanto. Me cepillo los dientes. Me cepillo los dientes. I brush my teeth. Me visto. Me visto. I get dressed. Me pongo. Me pongo. Me pongo, me visto means to get dressed. Me pongo is to put on something. Like me pongo una chaqueta, I put on a jacket. Me pongo el pijama, I put on my pajamas at night, okay? Bañarse, me baño. Me baño, I take a bath. En la bañera, I take a bath in the bathtub. Me afeito. Me afeito. Afeitarse means to shave. Me seco. Me seco con una toalla. I dry with a towel. Secarse is to dry oneself. Okay? Me peino. Me peino is I comb my hair. Me peino el pelo. Me lavo. Me lavo la cara, I wash my face. Me lavo las manos, I wash my hands. Me quito. Quitarse means to take off. Me quito la camisa, I take off my shirt. Me quito los zapatos, I take off my shoes. Okay, me acuesto. Me acuesto means to go to bed. Me duermo means to fall asleep. Y me maquillo. Maquillarse, me maquillo, means to put on makeup. Bien? Ahora, practiquemos con un verbo más. Let's practice with one more verb. Vestirse, to get dressed. Now, just like levantarse, you're going to take off the SE and it becomes me, te, se, nos, os, se. But instead of an AR verb, you're left with an IR verb. And this IR verb also happens to be a stem changer. So there's a few steps we have to take. But we're just going to conjugate its E to I, an E to I stem changer. So it would be, repite, me visto, me visto. Te vistes, te vistes. Se viste, se viste. Nos vestimos, nos vestimos. Os vestís, os vestís. Se visten. Se visten. Bien, ahora sabemos conjugar un verbo reflexivo. Muy bien. Ok, ahora tengo un pequeño párrafo sobre el horario diario de Andrés. Now I have a little paragraph about Andrés's daily routine. It has a lot of reflexive verbs, so we're going to underline all the reflexive verbs. Vamos a subrayar los verbos reflexivos. Andrés se despierta a las 6 de la mañana. Andrés wakes up at 6 in the morning. What is the reflexive there? Se despierta. You're going to underline it with the reflexive pronoun. Me, te, se, nos, os, se. Okay. He gets up at 6. He wakes up at 6 in the morning. He gets up at 6:30. Se levanta a las 6:30. Se levanta. Y va directamente al baño, and he goes directly to the bathroom. To go directly to the bathroom is not reflexive. Okay, se baña por 20 minutos. He takes a bath for 20 minutes. Se baña por 20 minutos. Y se lava detrás de las orejas. Remember, the orejas are ears, so he washes behind his ears. Después, next, se seca con una toalla, he dries with a towel, y se mira en el espejo. If you're looking at yourself in the mirror, it's mirarse, it's reflexive. So se mira, he looks at himself in the mirror, se mira en el espejo. He combs his hair carefully, cuidadosamente means carefully. Se peina cuidadosamente, y se cepilla los dientes, he brushes his teeth. Después va a la cocina y desayuna tostada. Next, he goes to the kitchen and he eats a piece of toast for breakfast. Now, to have breakfast is an AR verb. Desayunar means to have breakfast, but it is not reflexive. So, just so you remember, not every verb is reflexive. Okay. Finalmente, se viste, he gets dressed, y luego va a trabajar, and then he goes to work. Trabaja todo el día. He works the whole day. Por la noche, Andrés vuelve a casa y cena arroz con pollo. At night, Andrés returns home and he has chicken and rice for dinner. Cenar is to have dinner. That's not reflexive. And to return home, vuelve a casa, that's not reflexive either. Después de cenar, after eating dinner, he brushes his teeth again. Volver a hacer algo means to do something again. Él vuelve a cepillarse los dientes. So he brushes his teeth again. We have the reflexive verb cepillarse. This time it's in the infinitive though. It's not conjugate, it's in the infinitive. Se quita la ropa. He takes off his clothes and he puts on pajamas. Se pone. Remember, ponerse means to put on. Quitarse, to take off. Se quita la ropa. Se pone un pijama. He puts on a pajama. Some pajamas. A las 11 de la noche, él se acuesta. At 11 o'clock, he goes to bed, se acuesta, y se duerme enseguida. He falls asleep right away. Se duerme enseguida. Andrés duerme hasta las 6 de la mañana, que es la hora de levantarse. He sleeps until, now just to sleep until 6, that's not reflexive. To fall asleep is reflexive. To sleep is not. Andrés duerme hasta las 6 de la mañana, que es la hora de levantarse. He sleeps till 6 in the morning until it's time to get up again. Levantarse, once again, the infinitive. Okay. Now, quiero que escribas. I want you to write. Escribe. Escribe 5 cosas que haces por la mañana. Write 5 things you do in the morning. I'm sure you do more than 5 things, but write down 5 things you do in the morning. Okay. Okay. Escribe 5 cosas que haces por la mañana. Write 5 things you do in the morning. Primero, me levanto. Me levanto. How about me ducho? I take a shower. Me ducho. Ducharse means to take a shower. Me ducho. Me visto. I get dressed. Me visto. Eat breakfast, desayuno, cereales. I eat cereal, desayuno cereales, but that's not reflexive, so it doesn't have a me, it's just desayuno, I have breakfast. Me cepillo los dientes, I brush my teeth. Me cepillo los dientes. Repite, me levanto, me ducho, me visto, desayuno cereales, me cepillo los dientes. That's it all. Okay, ahora, 3 cosas que haces por la noche. 3 things you do at night. Okay? Por ejemplo, me pongo un pijama. Me pongo un pijama. Leo una novela. I read a novel. That's not reflexive. Just leo. Me acuesto a las 11. Me acuesto means I go to bed. I go to bed at 11 o'clock. Me acuesto a las 11. Okay, now I have some translations for you. Traduce. Traduce means translate. You are falling asleep. There's a reflexive verb that means to fall asleep. Do you remember which one it was? It's dormirse. So you are falling asleep is te duermes. If you're in the movie theater or in class and your friend is falling asleep, you say, hey, te duermes. Despiértate, wake up. Te duermes. Okay? To put on lipstick, there's more than one way to say to put on lipstick. Me pinto los labios is one way. I paint my lips. Me pinto los labios. It's something I do to myself, so it's reflexive, pintarse. Andrés gets up early. We learned this one. Andrés se levanta temprano. Andrés se levanta temprano. You take good care of yourself. ¿Cómo te cuidas? What good care of yourself you take. ¿Cómo te cuidas? And then finally, we brush our teeth before going to bed. Nosotros, we don't have to, remember, we don't have to say nosotros because it's assumed in the verb. So, cepillamos, nos, remember the reflexive, nos cepillamos los dientes antes de acostarnos. This is a little tricky. Nos cepillamos, we brush our teeth, nos cepillamos los dientes, antes de, and then you need an infinitive. Whenever you have antes de, before doing something, you're going to have an infinitive. So antes de acostarnos, but we're talking about we, so the se becomes a nos at the end of the infinitive, acostarnos. So after antes de, you have an infinitive. After después de, you also have an infinitive. So like after waking up, after we wake up would be después de levantarnos. After we get up, we do something. So. Muy bien, los verbos reflexivos requieren mucha práctica, así que vamos a practicar más en la próxima clase. Adiós por ahora.